listening to
The Painkillers with Marquis
and AD.
This is your dose of getting rid of all your pain. We are going to
talk your pain away.
You already know, man. It's so good to see you, man.
It's good to see you too, bro.
Man, I'm super excited, bro.
Yeah, man. Like, dude, our first one was crazy.
We got great feedback. You know what I'm saying?
I'm reading the comments. And,
exactly.
all that kind of stuff.
I hope the people, went and got that prescription filled.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
They got to get the prescription filled.
Exactly, bro. So last time we talked about.
Well, we kind of alluded to
facts,
friendships, and not, walking with people and self-prescribing and that type of situation. But we don't want to take away the importance of friendship.
Absolutely.
And so when you are a painkiller, friendship is a very important part of that. You know what I'm saying? It's an important part of business, relationships, all of those things. So, man, I think today we really need to hone in on friendships, man.
Hey, let's do it. Patience. Y'all already heard it, so y'all better come on into the room, man.
For sure.
We're getting ready to talk about some friendships and relationships, man.
Here we go.
Keep it locked. Here we go.
If there's some medication I could take to make me wanna hate you and kill this ache. If there's some medication I could take, you know I would do it. But they don't got a pill for this.
All right, y'all. So we are excited about today's podcast, man. To all my patients out there that are listening to us, we're all patients. If it's your first time listening to us, AD,
all patients.
Dr. AD,
we are all patients. All right, we're all patients.
All of us, man. All of us are going through something, been through something, came through something. We're all dealing with something. And so today, man, we're going to be dealing with an amazing topic, which I think is very important.
Yeah.
And like AD already alluded to in the intro, we're going to be dealing with relationships and friendships, especially trying to cope with life, get through your trauma, your issues, your drama, all that kind of stuff. My baby mama, baby daddy, boss, whoever.
Anybody that I don't like. Outside of yourself. For sure.
So, hey, we got somebody in the room today with us that's joining the,
Yeah, man. I met this guy, man, a while ago, and, through our matriculation, we both were serving in the same city. Doing ministry, not together, but doing ministry at the same time,
Absolutely.
which I call together because, if you doing ministry, we're on the same team. It should be that way. But, but man, I really took a liking to this guy, man. And me and him just over the years, we keep in contact, but we never really connected. Yeah. And man, in this season, man, we've connected on another level, man. So, I was introduced to him as Pastor Reggie, but But I've got to know him as Reggie. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so we've asked him to come on today. And
so patience, y'all got to welcome in the room.
Yeah, man.
The painkiller for the day.
Yeah.
Reggie.
What's going on, fella? Hey, man, I'm glad to be on the show, man. I'm in here with celebrities, man.
Hey,
this
man,
is awesome,
this
is awesome.
Dude, man, we're so glad to have you, bro. And we really thank you for being a part, man. Take some time out. Coming out here to sunny LA. I know it's such a struggle for you to get to LA. I know it's such a struggle.
No, man. Listen, man, I'm so glad to be here. I've been in so many places, but God, dog, man, LA is just. It's something else, man.
Yeah, and you ain't even seen it yet. So, man, as soon as we finish up, man, hey, I'm taking you on a trip.
Wow,
going on the road.
It can't be any more than what I've seen,
dude,
man.
But we are social distancing, guys. We are social distancing.
Yes, we are. And these are the only people that I have literally hung with or seen since I've been here. So
yeah, man. So all right, so man, we talking about this connections, friendships. We know that, or how I would like to depict it is the people that can cause the most pain are the people that's the closest to you.
Man, just rip the Band-Aid off.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Like, man, I ain't gonna play with it.
Right.
All right. So, and I think that, not even in a super deep spiritual context, But the reality of it is, like, the doorway to our greatest frustration is through the people that are close to our heart. So whenever the enemy knows, like, I can't get to them, I'm gonna get to somebody that's close to them to get to them, because that's the easiest way. So, you know, in dealing with pain in relationships, friendships that don't turn out the right way, friendships that just all of a sudden end, relationships that end, breakups, whatever the case is, but then also too, business relationships that don't go well, you know, those type of situations. How, you know, Reggie, how have you dealt with letting go? Let's just deal with this. All right.
Bing, 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 bing.
Wow.
Let's just deal with letting go.
Wow.
Of friendships.
Doc, you went straight
that
there.
are no longer benefiting.
Yes.
That are no longer benefiting us. How has that been a thing?
Yeah.
Man, I'll be absolutely honest with you, man. I just got into a place where I am beginning to let go, to the point to where I'm beginning to even unfriend people and unfollow people. Yeah. And I neglected to do that because I have always lived my life for the pleasure of others.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I would say to myself, if I delete them, then how are they going to feel? But then I had to say to myself, you know, okay,
if I keep them,
right?
Keep them. How am I?
I got to do this for my mental health. You know what I'm saying? I got to do this for myself. And finally, I'm at a point where I'm beginning to make decisions for my own well-being.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That has been a very, very hard process, man. I have always been loyal in relationships, and when I say loyal, it doesn't mean I've been perfect in relationships, but I've been loyal. So I can know whatever you do or whatever you've done or whoever you are, there's nothing you can tell me about you once I connect with you that would make me disconnect from you. But I haven't found that in many cases matriculated back to me with others. You know what I'm saying? And so in those cases where relationships have ended or relationships were unhealthy or the likes, man, I found it to be very, very challenging, man, to let go until now. Until now. And if I be honest, I'm still dealing with that.
I mean that's the whole concept of this, man. We want our patients to be honest. We're patients as well, so we're being honest. But the reality of everything that we're doing with painkillers is for us to be honest about where we are, and know that even though we may be open to communicate about it, to talk about it, and to share, does not mean that we got it all down.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so it's all growing thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and but I love what you said. Like, you know, as far as like you've always cared about how it affected them, but not how it affected you, man. I've been at that place more times than I want to admit.
Yes, sir.
Where I'm like, yo, like this is not benefiting me in any type of way. I'm not getting anything from it. This is literally emotionally and mentally draining. Every time I see their name pop up on my phone, anxiety creeps in, or I get angry, or whatever the case is. But I don't want to cut them all the way off because I'm afraid of the narrative that they're going to build about me, or how they're going to feel, or whatever the case may be. So I've cared more about them than I did me.
Absolutely.
Marquis.
Yeah, that's why they tell us. Hey, that's why they tell us on the plane. You know, I like flying. So
Yes, sir.
Put the mask over your
Bro,
face.
that's it.
Yes,
that's
sir.
it.
Yes,
I think about that
sir.
every single time I think about it.
Yes, sir.
Every single time I think about it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man.
Put the mask on you.
You got to.
Then help somebody
Then help
else.
somebody else, man. And I think we're living in a culture where you see so many people get sick, die, collapse, have anxiety, depressed, everything because we're trying to save everybody but us. We're no good for nobody else if we're saving them and we're dying.
Yep. That's so true, man. And but I found that whenever we're at that place, what'll happen is they'll let you die.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. And sing a song at your
bleed you
funeral.
dry.
I know, and be like, you know, that was so good to me. And then 2 weeks on, they done, you know, 2 weeks later, they done moved on.
Moved on.
You know, they will legit allow you to die, and then be like, all right, cool, and then act like they didn't do a thing.
Facts.
You know, they didn't drain you, they didn't appreciate you, they didn't do it. They're like they didn't do nothing. Like, but the reality of it is, man, like if we don't protect ourselves, nobody else is going to.
You have to, man.
And then most of us, man, you know, this is painkillers. Most of us are dealing with pain because of an individual more than likely.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it can go all the way back to our childhood. It can be in our present, you know, so we have to address that. So I'm going to ask the hard question.
Yes, sir.
Who was the hardest person
Ooh.
you had to delete or cut off when it came to after your assessment that this is not beneficial for me, my livelihood, my health, my mental capacity, like, and I'm gonna bring it around full circle, but
yeah,
Mr. Painkiller Reggie,
man,
who was the hardest one, bro?
So you
the patients want to hear.
Ooh.
They listening.
So you guys will have to get a copy of my book that's coming out real soon.
Low plug.
But you know, I won't say any names, and
absolutely not.
Okay, and I
sure.
you know,
that ain't how we roll.
Yeah, because we have the HIPAA law.
Yeah.
We can't disclose information.
Can't disclose information.
There is a friend who had been a friend for a long time that, you know, I had just invested so we both did. But this friend obviously had disconnected from the relationship years before I actually got the point.
Gotcha.
And you know, I listened to what you guys spoke about on your last podcast, and connecting with people who have similar issues as you, you know, and really connecting for the wrong reasons. And now after probably 10 years, I realized, you know what, that relationship probably should have never even happened.
Wow.
And that was one of the hardest relationships to completely disconnect from.
Yeah.
That's good,
man.
Dr. AD.
For me, it would have to be a family member.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because I think that a lot of times we automatically assume growing up that if you have my last name, you have my best interest at heart. Wow. If we have the same blood.
Hold on, rewind.
Legit.
If like, you have my last name, you have my best interest.
But that's a falsehood. That's you know, that's a lie. You know, is what we think. And you know, I don't want to super spiritualize it.
Absolutely.
But the reality of it is when Jesus says those that desire to do the will of my Father.
Absolutely.
Like
those are my family.
That's my family. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I had to realize that you know, we can have the same blood, but we don't have the same convictions. We don't have the same drive. We don't have the same heart. And that was hard, man, you know, because for years I allowed people to I think for me, just in general, for years I would allow people to use me for the sake of me being a good person because I cared more about what people thought about me than my own truth that I was sitting in for myself. Wow. I know who I am.
Facts.
But because if you left, you know, an interaction with me and you felt negative about me, then I'll try to fix how you looked at me. That's like it. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd be like, oh, you know, no, please don't look at me this way. I'm not a bad person. I'm not a bad person. But not understanding that majority of people will paint you to be bad just because they didn't get what they wanted from you. Wow. That doesn't make you bad. That just means that just means you just didn't get what you wanted. Yeah. But people will paint that picture of you to say, you know what, like you know what, you're a bad person. No.
And then tell everybody.
And then tell everybody their narrative and their perspective based upon what they did not or what they could not get from you as an individual. And that does not make you a bad person. And so, man, I just had to learn how to cut people off and not have, you know, and not feel a type of way about it because, you know, what happens when being there for you hurts me? Like what happens then?
You know what? I think we need to talk about that more, like really though, because just because what once was a connection is no more a connection, it doesn't mean that either of the individuals are either wrong, terrible, evil. Sometimes it's just an expiration date.
Bingo.
On,
you know, bingo. Like we have to be okay with being the remedy in the season for somebody's problem.
Y'all heard that, patience?
That's you know, like yo, like for example, I don't take NyQuil and DayQuil every day.
Right.
I took it when I was sick.
Yeah.
After I am healed,
I don't need it.
I don't need it anymore.
Oh, bruh.
You see what I'm saying? So
now you're gonna have some debate right there, bro. But that's a good point.
I get it. Because people gonna say, well,
you use me.
Yeah, you
use it like
no. Because the reality of it is, I didn't use you. I paid for it.
Yep. Yeah. Oh yeah.
And for me to see how effective you are, I had to be sick.
Yeah.
Gee. Yeah. And if I wasn't sick, we probably would have never even crossed paths.
Bingo.
And that's where we need to talk about identifying the purpose of these connections and the purpose of the relationships. Because if we make that real clear, because I think one of the major problems we have on both sides is when someone who should be doctoring, pastoring, mentoring, someone begin to want to befriend them.
Yeah,
of course.
You know what I'm saying? Befriending someone you should be helping, mentoring, or mentoring in some kind of way. And that becomes real toxic.
It does.
I think that's when we put people in the wrong compartment in our lives. I can go, me and my doctor are cool. Like, you know, I go when I need to go. I text him and ask him a question about something I'm feeling, but he ain't calling me every day. He ain't coming to my house. We ain't going to the movies, but he's there when he's needed, and he's there to be a source for me in that compartment. I'm not taking him out of that compartment trying to make him my best friend because he gives me good health advice.
Yeah.
And sometimes we do the opposite in relationships and friendships is we connected as friends. We really cool. We like a lot of the same similar things and all that kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden we try to put that person in a relationship compartment, and we don't realize that just because we good in a friendship doesn't mean we're supposed to be in a relationship.
Bingo.
Or vice versa. You
Bingo.
know? And I think that's a key point.
Bingo.
So there's two things I want to piggyback on, back to your question. One, when you asked about, you know, the hardest relationships to connect from, man, I got to say some of it is like some of my leadership, you know, like some leadership in church. I don't know any other way to say this. But I just think at a certain point you grow beyond, you know, that particular connection. Now I say loyalty. I know you. You know, I'll always acknowledge what you've done in my life. But at a certain point, you know, when I graduate from preschool to elementary school, you know, it doesn't make sense for me to continue to go to my preschool classes. You know what I'm saying? If I go from the 9th grade to the 10th grade, then it's time for me to have a 10th grade mentor or a 10th grade type of leadership. And I think that was another issue. But I want to ask you guys, how did you guys separate, like, or keep the separation from befriending people who you should have been mentoring or vice versa?
I know for me, man, I am just a freaking stickler with repeating over and over and over in my head who this person is and what my assignment is. So like, for example, like as soon as I feel like my guard's coming down, I have to catch myself, remind myself, nope, this is what the assignment is. This is what this person's supposed to be here for. The second thing is I got crazy boundaries. Like my number is private, listed with the phone company. I don't give out my emails and stuff like that. Like I ain't gonna be inboxing you back on social media. Like I just have crazy boundaries. And I think unless you put up those hedges intentionally, you're always gonna get fed to the wolves. So I learned that for a long time ago, man. Like I grew up under mentors who at the time it didn't make sense. Like they would say stuff like, oh, don't have no social media, or don't do this or don't do that. I'm like, that's so weird. But then I started realizing as I grew in business and leadership and all that kind of stuff, I said, oh, those was hedges. Those were boundaries. Those were protections. So I keep it that way. And then I keep people around me who can check me. So if they seeing me with certain people and they seeing it going a certain way, they be like, hey, bruh, I want to ask you about that relationship. What's going on with that? Why you always with them? Why you always over there? Like that kind of stuff. So that accountability also helps.
Yeah, man. And that's something I didn't do well with. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't do well with boundaries. I would allow people to be real close to me because that was my leadership style. You know, like I was more of, you know, the person that would do life with you. You know what I'm saying? More than I would be just give you what you need to go. I mean, get you what you needed. And then, you know, I see you next time. And what I learned over time is that the more I was lax on boundaries or didn't put them in their proper place, then they felt they begin to get very entitled. And my definition for it is a luxury that becomes expected is entitlement. So like if I like access
Always
to me,
dropping nuggets.
access, access to
It's
me.
a privilege.
That's a privilege.
Yep.
Texting me, like, and then you, because you weren't checked the first time, you start continuing to do it, or you disrespect me, and then you weren't checked the first time, you continue to do it. That's now a luxury that you now taking the liberty of. Now you are in entitlement.
Yeah.
Now, so man, for me, it's like I've had to go back to reset boundaries, and then those that did not respect them, I had to cut them off.
Yeah.
The only people that are mad about your boundaries are people that wanted to abuse them in the first place.
Yeah, the motives.
Yeah. Like if you tell me, hey, hey D man, man, I'm asking you, man, don't, I know you be up late working, but don't text me after 10 p.m.
Bingo.
And I'd be like, all right, cool. If I'm mad about that, that means that I was expecting to abuse that.
Exactly.
Yeah. The only people that are mad about your boundaries are people that want to use. That want to abuse them.
They
That's
have
the
that
only
ulterior
people.
motive.
That's the only people, bro. Like the only people.
Yeah.
Like, and I had to learn that like the hard way because man, I was like legit giving people access to me that I was like, why am I giving these people access to me like this? Because I was trying to win people over by my personality. And I was trying to win people over by my leadership style. Yeah. But then when I started to go back to to create those boundaries, to say, no, you can't do this after a certain time, or no, don't do this, or don't do this, then they would get upset. But I had to realize, like, the only people that's mad about those boundaries are people that was benefiting from the abuse of me not having it. Yeah. So the moment you don't have any boundaries and you start creating those boundaries, you're gonna see who was benefiting from you not having boundaries.
Facts.
So when you're wounded and you get healed, you're gonna see the people that were benefiting from you being wounded.
Being sick.
Like if you like people say all the time, the money isn't in the remedy, the money is in the medicine.
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna give you enough to keep you sick,
so
to keep you coming back to me.
Absolutely.
And that's certain relationships are that same way. I want you to keep coming back to me. I don't want you to be healed.
Yeah, that kind of goes back to what I was saying about certain leaderships. I think because they get a high, and I'll be honest, I've done it too, because they get a high off of
being needed.
Yeah. Yes, man. They won't put you in a position to really be healed and to really grow. And when you do, it's a problem there. You know what I'm saying?
That goes back to what we talked about in the first podcast about that codependency. Like, they need that dependency to be needed by them. Yeah. I've learned, you talked about like, as in church, like I learned that so many people find church as an outlet because they can't control no other area of their life. So church is the only place they can control people. They can get people to do what they want them to do, but then they go home, but don't nobody listen to them, don't nobody comply, don't nobody. So they come to a institution or a space where they can finally get what they do not get.
Yep.
Wow.
And a lot of times it's relationships. And that's why in church, everybody, oh, you my brother, oh, you my sister. That's one of the things I hate.
Yep.
Me too, bro.
Like, I get the concept, but I'm like, bro, you only calling me that because you won't even have a relationship with your brother at home, or you don't have a relationship with your mom. Like, and then you got people that's like, I used to have people that's like 2 times my age calling me dad and pops and that kind of stuff. And I used to be like, I'm like young enough to be your son, but they don't get it at home, so they try to get it from here. And that comes down to that whole relationship abuse too, because then soon I'm your pop, as long as I'm patting you on your back and giving you praise, but as soon as it's time to discipline you, you're seasoned up. You call somewhere else. And then you badmouth me everywhere. But you ain't talking about the time I paid your bills, that I bought you the car, that I bought groceries, that But that goes back to that,
No, for real.
And I think for me, like, yours was a friend, yours was a family member. My hardest
what was yours?
Delete, breakup, or cut off.
Let's hear it.
Was the false version of me, bro. Ooh. It was the version of me, bro, that everybody in church knew. It was the version of me that everybody knew since I was a teenager. And like these last 2 years, it's like everybody who never saw this side of me, like, who is this man? Where did he come from? What's going on with you? Why are you changing? This and that. And what I learned in this season, bro, is that when I was trying to cut off other people, I was still left with that false version of me. So when I cut off this false version of me, instead of taking so much time to deal with the external people, the external people started to fall off by themselves. They stopped calling, they stopped texting, they stopped trying to hit me up because they didn't like who I really was. And when I started
actually who you really always been.
Yeah. But the church taught me how not to be that.
Whoa, man.
How to be something else.
Jesus Christ.
But now I'm like, I don't care now. Like, I'll post my car. Like the church told me don't post your car. You can't drive this. You can't bring that to the church. Like, and so we walking around pretending not to have things and not to be certain things because of all that. We're gonna have to go over our time on this one right here because like I feel something on this one.
Like for real.
You get what I'm saying?
Man, but I'm telling you, man, the reality of it is that we can, and all of us have been in the seat of senior pastor.
Yeah.
We can coach you, preach you, prophesy to you, to live your best life, to have everything God wants for you.
Yep.
We can teach you how to do that, but we can't do that.
We can't do that.
We can't do that.
And as soon as we do that,
we can't drive it.
Yeah.
We can't live it. Because as soon as we do it, they taking it.
Yeah. To be continued next week, right here on Painkillers. Don't forget, you can join us every Monday night on Medication Mondays on Clubhouse at 9 p.m. It's an extended conversation from the Painkillers podcast. Clubhouse, Monday nights at 9 p.m. Medication Mondays.